What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Fans Hobby MB-12 Athena, their version of Minerva. So this is from the Godmaster Force cartoon. It's basically they were called Headmaster Juniors. So they all have headmasters. The headmasters were kind of the conscience. They were these characters, basically humans, who put on these suits and then they became kind of souped up, and they became the conscience of these robots, and then they could control these robots. So it was kind of a neat little show. I wasn't really into it. I didn't watch it, but one of the guys I interviewed, Sixo, he did a nice background on it. So if you're interested, you can watch his video after this one and check out his background on that. Here's the vehicle. Really nice vehicle. This is one of the reasons I bought this, is because I love this Porsche. I believe it's a Porsche 959 from back in the 80s when the supercar era. Really nice. So it's got some nice painted rims. You got the translucent headlights there. There's decals that it comes with, so I'll just show you those. Here are the decals. So you got to put on all these stickers, and I don't know why. Maybe because this is a Red Cross symbol and they don't want to get sued, so they make you put it on separate. But there's a bunch of others that they could have put on, so I don't really know why. But there's some inner details. I'll show you that in a minute. You get a license plate, so you get one for the front, which I chose not to put on there because I like the just standard look there. And then here's the back. I did put the license plate on the back there, ATH MB-12, Athena MB-12. So overall, pretty nice that they have some pretty good decals. They're good quality decals. They're not, cheap, and they work well. You do get the other details. You get the red flashers up there. You get some painted lights here, and on the back you get the translucent red, which is nice, very iconic for this particular car. Had that bar all the way across, so this looks just like that. You do get the rear view mirrors, and the rear view mirrors do have that detail there, so it's painted. It's either painted or a sticker. I didn't put a sticker on, so it might be painted, I don't know. And these do move in and out of the way. You can take off this top here, and that's where kind of all the stuff is. So let's take off the top. It just kind of lifts off. Comes off pretty easy, actually. And you can see I already have the headmaster in there. That's because it's very hard to get in there. I didn't want to have to do that on camera. So I already have her in there. So there's Minerva. The actual little helmet piece also fits and mounts right here. So you can just store it right there. That's nice. You can also store the guns back here. So they're just pegged into the side onto this. Peg right into those slots right there. And it's a little bit annoying to do, which is why I took them off. So we'll just set those to the side. But there's two guns. We'll show them more in the robot mode. So everything can peg in here. We'll just take this out. Here's the head crest. We'll show that a little bit later. And if you open up this little cockpit area here, you can pull her out, and it's very tight. So, one thing you have to do is sort of push this down. You'll see her chest comes down a little bit, and then you can pull her feet out and then put it back. But here is the Minerva figure in her robot mode. She does have some really nice articulation. She's got a ball joint at the shoulder. It rotates all the way around and goes up to there. You have an elbow joint, really tiny elbow joint, 90 degrees. You get a ab crunch on this. It doesn't help in sitting in the car because you have to fold at the legs and not at the abs. You do get a little bit in and out on the leg, although it kind of snaps in place. You can't really get it to stay. It goes back to there, goes down to there, and goes up to there. All those kind of like, almost like a ratchet. It's not, it's just, maybe it's molded that way to make it stay. But pretty nice looking. There's the head sculpt. It looks really good, actually. I'm impressed that they had this detail on here. This is one of the nicer headmasters. I've seen a lot of headmasters. By the way, I took the face off the back. So normally you have the face just sitting here on her back. And I took it off because when you put it in the car, it does kind of collide here. And I didn't want to scratch up the paint on the face. But there's the face. We'll look at this more in the robot mode. There she is next to the TE01B and the Masterpiece Sideswipe. Pretty good size vehicle. Pretty much the same width. About the same length, maybe a little bit longer and a little bit taller, which also makes sense because the Lamborghini is really short. Maybe a little big in car mode, honestly, tiny bit, but it's okay. I like the look of the car. I think it fits in just fine with Masterpiece car collection. All right, now let's get this girl transformed into her robot mode. First step is just take off this piece here. You can actually lift up on the spoiler and then lift off the top. And just set that aside for now. Then we're going to take care of the back here, so go ahead and unpeg these. A little separation there. Go ahead and pull these away from the doors, and that'll separate the whole front section from the back section. You can see the arms are kind of under there. That's sort of where it's stored. You can kind of see her body here too. But they did a pretty good job hiding it from the top and from this mode. Go ahead and pull the door away and down, and that'll fold this way. Fold the glass inwards, and make sure that's folded all the way down. It's a little bit more important later, and then fold this panel in. Same on this side. Unpeg, fold down, fold this inwards all the way, and then fold this inwards. Right, and you can just leave these down here for now. Right, so we're going to take care of the rest of this. So go ahead and unpeg this, flip it around 180, flip this one around 180, and again 180. And it should end up the other way. So it was this way over here. Now I'm going to flip it basically all the way around on this side. And peg that together and just leave that there like that. If you haven't already folded this in, just fold that downwards and let it sit there. And once you get those pegged together, go ahead and push that inwards. You're going to want to have this angled this way so you can get that in. And then you can push that back. And that's going to be your torso. Okay, go ahead and close these panels here. And now we can finish up the arms, and you can see how they're going to kind of accordion out. So get them down on this panel. Same on the other side. Rotate the arm around, rotate up at the elbow, rotate the arm around, rotate the elbow, and that'll just leave some space for you to work. For this back panel here, you want to get this rotated so that this panel's up top. Fold that panel in. And then this is just going to sit on the back of her arm. It does rotate here, but it's kind of a tight connection, so I recommend rotating here and don't stress this plastic. So rotate there. Oops. There's a ball joint there. It's kind of tight, so you got to move that. But there you go. So that's one arm done. So do the exact same thing in the other arm. Get that all positioned the same way. Rotate up. And we're just going to leave these arms up and out of the way for now. Okay. Now we work on the legs. The legs are probably the more challenging and actually the more, I don't want to say irritating, but not as fun. So go ahead and take these rear view mirrors and fold them down and in. Same on this side. Fold it down and in so they sit kind of flat against the door like that. Both of these should be able to move. Okay. Go ahead and separate the legs here and just have them angled outwards like this. And there is some tricky clearances here, so you got to do this in sort of the right order. But open up this panel here, and that'll come down like that. And make sure you have plenty of room here. Open up this panel here, and that'll allow you to accordion the leg outwards. Okay. Pull this knee down, and that'll give you the clearance to put that as her kneecap right there. Make sure you have that all the way in. Close this foot. That's going to create the front of the foot. You can kind of see how that's going to go. So that's her toe, and that's the back of the foot. Go ahead and take this panel and close that back down over. Take this back panel, and this panel is going to peg in right there. It's not the best connection. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but you want to peg that in as best as you can. And it might pop out again. Unfortunately, that's just the way this figure is designed. But, okay, so go ahead and do the same thing on this side. I'm not going to show it again. It's just same process. And now we got both legs taken care of. We're in the home stretch here. So go ahead and take the headmaster and fold at the abs. And then fold the bottom of the legs up. Fold the top of the legs, or the calves down over the thighs. And to kind of make that stay, you need the helmet part. So go ahead and slide this on. And that does kind of solidify and make the face stay on. Okay, and straighten up the arms. The arms should be basically straight back against the feet there. So you have something like that. And then this is going to fit right into this cavity here. I haven't seen if there's a direction or not, like if it matters. Last time I put it in that way. So this time I'm going to put it in this way, see if it matters. Okay, there's that. You just slide it in there. It's a spring-loaded panel there. All right, last thing we're going to do is take care of this backpack. You can have her without the backpack and have it just like that. I think it makes sense to have the backpack on there, so I'm going to put that on. So go ahead and open this up, fold this down, fold the spoiler up to here, flip this panel around, and there's your backpack. And that just fits right back where it was before. I don't think you can transform this with this on here, but don't quote me on that. And then the kind of finishing touches is go ahead and transform these guns. You will need a spudger to get these handles out. They're very hard to get in there with your fingernails. Okay, so there's a handle. And there you have Athena, all transformed up, or otherwise known as Minerva. So really good looking bot mode. I like it a lot. It's possible that the head is supposed to go a specific way. I'm not really sure, but if you put it the way I had it, it looks like it goes back a little bit further. But anyway, it's like a quick 360. We'll put the, not G1 cartoon, but the cartoon that I can find, at least for this girl. And pretty good looking. I don't know if this backpack is accurate. It's hard to tell based on the cartoon. Same with the legs. Not so sure if those are exactly the way she had it, but pretty nice, pretty good for this character. I do kind of like it. She does come, and so let's take a close-up on her head sculpt since I told you I would do that. So there's the head sculpt. Pretty nice head sculpt. She has kind of a, I don't know what you would call that, duck lips, whatever. And you also get alternate face here. And there she is with a smiling face. It looks okay. I don't know, it's a little cheesy, but maybe people who watch this show, that means more to them. Let's go over the articulation. So the head is on a, I believe, maybe a double ball joint, or maybe it's just getting the movement from rocking forward in there, and then you've got the rotation from the neck of the inner robot. So you got pretty good movement there on this head. It's some pretty nice positions there. You get the arm rotates all the way around. This piece can move kind of in all different directions. One of the things I like to do with this is have this look. You know, it kind of reminds me of Drift. So you can have her looking like Drift. I know it's not the character, but I like the look with the shoulder pads kind of down like this. It just looks different. I don't know. You do have a rotation at the bicep, very tight though, so be careful, hold it in the right spot. You have a double jointed elbow that gets all the way up to there, really nice articulation there. You have a rotation at the wrist, it's on a ball joint, and you have a movement like that, so you can get that up. So tons of movement on this tiny little arm. It's one of the most articulate I've seen for a figure of this size. You have hands that have two joints, no pointer finger, but all four fingers are on one base pin, and then is it a pin? Yeah, I think it's a pin. And then the thumb is on a single rotating pin. So pretty nice hands overall. You can get some good expression from that, but also she holds the gun pretty well. Going on to the waist, you get a ball joint in here. So she goes all the way down to there, pretty far, all the way back to there. And she gets some side to side. I mean, you get everything with this. This is really, really good movement there. You get the sassy bot thing going on, so you can have one hip higher than the other. You have a rotation at the thigh, inner thigh, and the outer thigh. So this black piece on the inside rotates, and then the red piece rotates around that. Pretty cool little thing. I haven't seen that very often. You have a double jointed knee, but it's blocked by this panel. And if you want to go further, you can actually, take this and rock it down like that. And then you can get the double jointed knee, so you can get her into, pose like that, where she's lifting up all the way. Then you get the toe tilt and rocker, both directions. You can also move the entire ankle a little bit, not all the way, but you can move this back piece. But she's pretty stable even with just those toes. You can get very wide stances, and she holds it just fine. So you don't need to move the heel as much. So all in all, very, very nice articulation. One of the best I've seen on a figure like this. But one of the problems, well, let me show you one other thing before we show you the problem. This gun you can fold up, and you can store on her hip as a separate, there's no holster, but it can just sit on her hip like that. And there's your size comparison with the TO1 Optimus Prime and the Takara Tomy Blue Streak. She is pretty much the exact same size as a Carbot, a Masterpiece car. And that, I like that. For me personally, I don't know if it's the right scale for this particular series that they did, but for me, I like the size because I can fit her in with my Masterpiece collection, and she's just going to fit right in. So final thoughts on Athena. A little bit of a mixed bag for me. Well, actually, you know what? I think we forgot a couple of stickers here. So there's these stickers on her knees that we added. If you open up his chest, which I don't even think I even showed that, there are these stickers right here that we added. And it's got that little gimmick where it shows the, power up or whatever. I'm not a fan of the show, so I have no idea. that apparently is something from the show. But really good looking robot. She's got some nice detail, some nice paint accents here and there. You got that blue and silver and red and white. And, the sticker detail that I showed you, that I added earlier. But there are some things that keep this from being just a knockout, and number one is this. This is just very irritating. It can kind of just sit there, you don't have to worry about it, but it does kind of move around on you. So you don't have to worry about it too much, but I wish those secured in place. They also slide this way, by the way. So I wish those secured in place a little bit better. They really are, a irritation on an otherwise really nice figure. I do love the vehicle mode. This vehicle in particular is one of my favorite vehicles from the 1980s, this Porsche. And then the other thing I like a lot is you can change the look. So if you want a different kind of look, you can do that. You've got that customizability with those shoulder blades, and you can kind of get it looking however you want. It's got tons of posability, and you're seeing the feet are the legs are kind of coming apart a little bit. That's another thing I think is weak, is these ball joints are a little bit loose. They should be a little bit tighter to prevent the legs from opening up like that. But other than those two complaints, these back panels and the ball joints on legs, I think it's a great figure. I'm happy to have a female robot character in my lineup. I don't have many. I only have RC. And this is a good fit. I like that she's a Carbot. I know it's not G1, but it can fit with your G1 collection. It just looks like it fits right in with the rest of them. It's a car from that era. So everything about this is really good. I really like it. I just think that they need to work on the QC here and fix some of these things. So that's really it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.